Morning. Yes, 5 trucks of Humichar were picked up by Amazon from Anderson's yesterday. So I sent out an email to a few people that are on our email list saying Humichar is back in stock. Well, unfortunately, Amazon's only checking in 1 truck at a time. So the first truck sold out in the first 3 hours or 2 hours. So if you got that email saying the Humichar is in stock and you went to Amazon and it's currently unavailable, they'll check more trucks in. They got 5 trucks up there. They check 1 in and that truck sold out, like I said, in the first couple hours. So there's stock up there. They just gotta check it in. It's crazy. Anyways, I'm going to go over a couple things about Humichar today. I'm going to talk about the garden. I'm going to talk about the lawn. And talk about spreader settings. A few different things. So hold on. A lot of people are asking questions that are answered in the Bermuda Lawn Guide. The Bermuda Lawn Guide was written by me 6 months ago, and it's a full breakdown of everything you want to know about Bermuda grass. I've got new sod. Should I put pre-emergent? I've got this. The Bermuda Guide is a long, detailed explanation of everything about Bermuda grass, and there's a Bermuda grass calendar there. It's free. So I'll put it in the description below. I'll put a link to the Bermuda Lawn Guide. It's so important. I forgot to mention that the other day, but I'm getting so many questions that are answered in that Bermuda Lawn Guide, and there's a subject by subject page on there. So you can go and read the entire Bermuda Lawn Guide, or go subject by subject, which is the way I like to read it. It says the subject, click on the green bar, and then all of a sudden it expands open and you can read it. It's the best way. Okay, so let's talk about the application rate. You can always go to humichar.com and you can there's a link there that says application rates, and it's basically it's kind of a ballpark. It's 5 to 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet roughly that you put down. I've got like 18,000 square feet on my lawn, and I put out 2 bags on per treatment, and I'll probably do that at least 3 times this year, just trying to get my CECs to come up. What's a CEC? Well, a CEC is a cation exchange capability, and what that means is that's the ability of your soil to hold on to all the nutrients and then make them available to the plant versus all the nutrients leaching out all the time. It's very important, and I'm going to put, once in a while I grab a video. I'm going to grab a video if you want it's a cool kind of cartoon video. It explains what CECs is. I found this video and it's really cool to watch. So in the description, I'll have a link to Humichar, PGF Complete, but I'm also going to put that video. It's like a school video. It's really cool. It's a great video. I think one of the universities actually did it. And it explains CECs, and that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to, when we add biochar and humic, we're trying to increase the CEC, cation exchange capability, the quality of our soil. All right, so before I get to a couple things about Humichar, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the CEC thing, because that really is what we're trying to do. If you've ever seen this really dark, black, rich soil, you mean that lots of organic matter and carbon inside of it, that has a super high CEC. And that's what we're trying to do with our lawn. And nothing ever dies on our lawn, and that's the problem. So that's why we put biochar and humic down on our lawn, because we're trying to get that. We're trying to make our soil richer than the crappy soil that we have already. As an example, my lawn soil, last year, the CEC tested at about a 5.0. This year, because I've been putting down biochar, I've actually gotten that up to about a 6.2. So I've actually increased my CEC in my soils by 1.1 by using Humichar. My garden soil. Now this year I showed you guys how to make this supercharged garden soil. And we took black cow compost. We put Humichar, sprayed it with a little bit of super juice microbial pack, and then we added that chicken feed, that cheap organic material. And we rotated it, and you have to rotate it now. Some people are saying it just molded up. No, you gotta stir it up. You gotta add a little water, stir it up, add a little water. We make this super compost that we then add to the soil. So we just used cheap garden fill soil from like Lowe's, which has a CEC of about 9 to 12 on it. Well, I sent this lawn soil off to Clemson, and when I did that, my soil where my plants are growing tested at almost a 20 CEC. A 20. That is absolutely incredible. And the nutrient content, this is the other thing that will blow you away. It blew me away. No fertilizers. We're not putting any fertilizers in this soil. And I'll show you this chart from Clemson. And when you test it, everything is off the chart as far as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. All those base nutrients they're just all off the chart. It's like excess. But man, these plants are just blowing up. Absolutely blowing up. All right, so first off, these tomato plants were about, 6 to 8 inches tall about 3 weeks ago when we planted them. I think that's when it was. Look at these monsters. This is absolutely incredible. And just to give you some understanding of how big these things are getting probably 30 inches tall, and almost every single plant has a tomato on it already. Let's look at this yellow squash here for a minute. These yellow squash plants were tiny. They were like 3 inches when I first planted them a few weeks ago. Look at these things. Again, give you some perspective here. Put my hand inside of it. Look at that. Those are yellow squashes. Crazy. This lawn over here, I showed this in yesterday's video. This lawn has received Humichar and PGF Complete, mainly a little bit of that organic matter, and it is so thick, it is crazy. I'll put up a video from yesterday. I showed it yesterday in the video, but it's just crazy thick over here. I mean, it is insane. This was the old garden soil that we had from last year before we had Humichar, and what we did is we just set it over here, and then we mixed in some of that Humichar super compost, and my peas are coming up. But yesterday we did a full cut back here. We put down Humichar across the street, PGF Complete across the street, and man, my lawn is just amazing this year. So let me get the spreader real quick. You looking for squirrels? You looking for squirrels? Some lizards? Some lizards or squirrels? Okay, so I'm out here in the shed, and I grabbed 2 of the spreaders. And I'm going to show you settings for Humichar, and I might also do PGF Complete while I'm at it too. These are just good ballparks. Everyone always asks about numbers, but honestly, numbers really don't apply in a lot of these spreaders, because if you assemble it differently, the numbers don't match up. So let me show you a better way to do this. So if I'm going to be putting out Humichar, I'll put my finger there. That's probably about where I'm going to do it. Now that's probably about what? Between 1/4 and 1/2 inch, somewhere in there. I haven't measured it, but that's probably about a Humichar setting. If I want to do PGF Complete, I'd probably go to about there, which is just over 1/4 inch. Now that's if you have a slot spreader. All right, let's talk about, like the Andersons has a 3-hole spreader. Let's see where I am here. I would say, let me get my finger down there so you can see it. I would say that's about right for Humichar, and then maybe just a little bit smaller than that for PGF Complete. So for PGF Complete, I might come down to about there, or just a little bit larger, right about there. So I hate to give out numbers for spreaders, but you can sort of see when I'm working with PGF Complete or these fine particle stuff, I'm right about 1/4 inch, and that will give me the right coverage on most of these. If I'm going to something like Humichar, I'm going to go up to just under 1/2 inch maybe, and put it out like that, because remember, Humichar you can put out as heavy as you want. It's not going to impact anything. And if you start off too light, don't forget you can always, instead of going back and forth this way, now you can just do a double coat. We did that across the street yesterday. It wasn't going out heavy enough the first time with the Humichar, and we had leftover, so we went back and we did a crisscross on it, and got it done that way. Okay, so let me answer just a few more questions that we commonly get for Humichar. Number one, can I put Humichar out with other products? Yes. There is not a single other product that you can't put Humichar down with. You can put it out anytime you want. How often can I put it out? You can put it out every month if you want. It doesn't matter. We're going to put it out at least 3 times on the yard this year. What happens if I put it out too heavy? Doesn't matter. It doesn't contain any nutrients. So if you put it out too heavy, it will not hurt your lawn. Can I use it on any type of lawn? Yes, any type of lawn. Humichar can go down on anything. Any type of soil, any type of grass, it doesn't matter. Anytime during the season, I think it makes more sense to put it down during the growing season. So anytime from late winter or early spring all the way through the late fall, you can put it down. How about new sod? Absolutely. In the Bermuda Lawn Guide, I talk about how to care for new sod, and Humichar is great for new sod. Now, I was talking to a sod installer actually the other day, and I made a recommendation to him that if he was going to put down new sod, that's the one time on a lawn that you can actually get into the soil if you're going to till it up. So if you're going to do a new sod installation, what you can do, maybe put down a 10-10-10 fertilizer and then put down real heavy Humichar, till up the soil, rake it, and now you've got a little bit of nutrients and you got Humichar inside that soil before you put your sod down. That's a real big tip for anyone doing that. We're going to be doing this planting up at the farm, and we're going to be doing a few rows of crops up at the farm with a Humichar mix. Basically, we'll take Humichar, a little bit of super juice, microbial pack, and a little bit of this organic material, and be mixing that into a couple rows of different crops and watch the difference on it. I showed the other day, if you want to use it on already potted plants, I showed you how to mix up a liquid that you can actually just pour around your potted plants or plants that are already planted, like these rose bushes here have had it. These have had a treatment of it. Just pour it down around the root zone and water it down. Because remember, Humichar is the only completely micronized biochar that comes in a easily spreadable formula that once it's wet, reaches all the way through the grass, all the way through the thatch layer and down to the soil within a few minutes. It's the only one out there that does that because of the DG particles. And these particles, once they're wet, they just disperse. And they break into thousands and thousands of these little microparticles. I'm trying to think if there's any other questions. I think that's about it. Like I said, Amazon has 5 trucks up at their facility. They checked in one, it's sold out, so just be patient. They'll be checking in more and it should be available. Hopefully we'll be Humichar'd up to our butts in a little while. That's it, guys. Talk to you later. Hit subscribe. Doc.